We surveyed over 900 women between the ages of 50 and 70 with one simple, direct question. When you notice a man over the age of 60, what part of his body do you actually look at first? Most men get this dead wrong every single time. If you ask the average guy what women are looking for, he usually blurts out the same old answers: height, broad shoulders, a flat stomach, or big biceps. Men assume that attraction at 60 works the exact same way it did at 20, so they waste endless time worrying about losing their hair, getting gray, or not having the tight, athletic physique they had decades ago. But when we sat down with these women, they completely shattered that myth. They laughed, shook their heads, and made one thing crystal clear. After 60, attraction operates on an entirely different frequency. Women in this stage of life are not comparing you to a 5-year-old fitness model. They aren't holding you to impossible standards of youth, nor do they expect you to turn back the clock. What they are actually doing is far more subtle and deeply observant. Long before you say a single word, they are scanning your nonverbal presence. They are looking for silent, unmistakable signals that tell the truth about how you live your daily life. They want to see signs of vital energy, deep self-respect, and whether or not you are still actively engaged with the world around you. One woman summarized the entire survey in a single phrase that stopped us in our tracks. She said, "When I look at a man my age, I'm not asking how young he looks. I'm asking if he still looks alive." That sentence kept coming up again and again in different ways throughout our conversations. What these women are really describing is behavioral signaling, the quiet, undeniable reality that your body broadcasts your habits, your discipline, and your overall attitude toward aging. Your physical frame tells a complete story about your daily choices long before you ever open your mouth. Before we break down the 7 specific body signals that these women repeatedly highlighted, I want to pause and ask you a quick question. Where are you tuning in from today? Drop your city or country in the comments right now. It is always incredible to see how far our global community reaches and where everyone is watching from. Now, let's step straight into the breakdown. We are going to go through the 7 exact body areas women notice first, along with the deep psychological meaning behind each one. Starting with the number 1 visual trigger that over 70% of women mentioned immediately. The absolute first thing over 70% of women in our study noticed before anything else was a man's posture. Long before anyone takes a close look at your face, inspects your outfit, or listens to what you have to say, they process your overall frame from a distance. Imagine walking across a busy parking lot, stepping through the doorway of a restaurant, or simply standing in line at a local coffee shop. In every single one of those ordinary moments, your posture is instantly transmitting a silent message to everyone around you about how you feel about yourself and how you move through the world. When a man walks with his shoulders hunched forward, his head hanging low, and his upper back curved inward, his body language screams fatigue, emotional withdrawal, and quiet defeat. Even if you spent years in the gym and built an impressive physique in your younger days, poor posture immediately erases all of that effort. It makes a man look like he is carrying the heavy weight of the world on his back, shrinking away from attention and physically collapsing into himself. Women pick up on this visual cue in a fraction of a second, interpreting it as a total lack of energy, presence, and daily discipline. On the flip side, standing upright creates an immediate, magnetic shift in how people perceive you. When your shoulders are pulled back, your chest is open, and your chin rests at a level angle, you project grounded authority without saying a word. This isn't about standing stiffly like a soldier on parade. It's about holding yourself with relaxed, effortless self-respect. An upright frame communicates that you are mentally alert, confident in your own skin, and fully present in the moment. It tells every woman who looks at you that you haven't given up on life and that you still carry purpose in your movement. You don't need an athletic body or peak physical fitness to command respect. You simply need to stop collapsing into your own frame. Moving directly to the second major signal, women pay close attention to your hands and grooming habits. While a man can easily cover up physical flaws or weight changes with a loose shirt or a well-fitted jacket, his hands are almost impossible to hide in everyday life. Think about how often your hands are out in the open. Whether you are handing money over a counter, pulling open a heavy door, reaching across the table to grab a cup, or using natural gestures while talking, your hands are constantly on full display. During these tiny split-second interactions, women quietly observe the exact condition of your hands and what that condition reveals about your personal habits. It is crucial to understand that women are not judging you for natural signs of aging. Age spots, visible veins, and changes in skin texture happen to everyone over 60, and women expect to see them. What they are actually testing is your level of daily effort and basic self-care. Clean, neatly trimmed fingernails and well-maintained skin demonstrate that you take personal pride in the finer details of your life. It shows that you possess the self-discipline to spend 2 minutes a week taking care of yourself. On the other hand, severely neglected hands tell a completely different story. Jagged, dirty, or overgrown nails paired with excessively cracked, ignored skin rays, an immediate red flag in a woman's mind. It causes her to ask a very reasonable subconscious question. If this man cannot be bothered to take care of the basic details on his own hands, what other critical areas of his life is he neglecting? At the same time, women find hands that show signs of real work, like light calluses from lifting, building, gardening, or fixing things deeply attractive because they signal capability and physical activity. The goal isn't to have smooth, delicate hands like a teenager. It is to show that you are active while still maintaining the pride and discipline to keep them clean, presentable, and cared for. Over 80% of the women in our study dropped an absolute bombshell that completely shocked most men. They rated a man's neck and jawline as significantly more influential on their first impression than his chest, arms, or shoulder size. Most men spend years assuming women are staring at their biceps or measuring the width of their upper body, but the reality is much simpler. When a woman looks at your face, her eyes naturally track down to your jawline and neck because that exact area serves as a silent billboard for your underlying health, daily habits, and overall lifestyle discipline. As men age past 60, the body undergoes natural structural shifts. Skin elasticity naturally decreases, muscle tone softens, and body fat redistributes itself toward the lower face and neck area. Women understand this reality completely. They are not expecting you to walk around with the ultra-sharp, razor-edged jawline of a 25-year-old fitness instructor. What they are actually scanning for is the undeniable line between normal, graceful aging and total self-neglect. A man who has completely surrendered to aging often carries excess weight under his chin alongside weak, slouched head positioning, which melts his jawline entirely into his neck and projects a total lack of physical pride. Fortunately, improving this area doesn't require drastic measures or expensive treatments. The fastest way to reshape your neck and jawline instantly comes down to head position. Millions of men walk around with tech neck, their chin constantly dropping toward their chest, pulling their head forward and creating artificial double chins and saggy skin. The second you lift your head level, align your ears directly over your shoulders and pull your crown slightly upward. Your neck tightens, your jawline instantly defines itself, and your entire face projects alert, calm confidence. Combine this postural adjustment with simple daily movement and basic fat loss, and you restore natural structure to your lower face. It communicates a powerful message before you even speak. This is a man who still takes care of himself and maintains daily discipline. Moving straight into the fourth key signal, forearms ranked surprisingly high on our survey because they symbolize something far deeper than gym aesthetics. They represent practical, real-world strength. Most men think they need giant shoulders or a massive chest to catch a woman's eye, but women rarely care about inflated, gym-built proportions. Instead, they respond to functional capability. Think about how often forearms are on display during an average day. Every time you roll up your sleeves, pick up a tool, carry groceries, or reach across a table, your forearms are completely visible. In those ordinary moments, women subconsciously evaluate whether you look like a man who can handle real life. Toned, defined forearms signal to a woman on a primitive level that you are useful, active, and physically capable. They give off the impression of a man who works with his hands, stays busy, fixes things around the house, gardens, builds, or stays consistently engaged in physical work. A man with extremely soft, frail, or completely inactive forearms subtly projects a sedentary, disengaged lifestyle. a quiet cue that he spends his days sitting on the couch letting life pass him by. The beauty of building impressive forearms is that you don't need complicated workout routines, fancy equipment, or hours in a gym. Real forearm strength and muscle tone come naturally from simple, everyday physical engagement. Carrying heavy items, doing yard work, using hand tools, lifting weights, or even doing basic grip exercises at home naturally builds the tendons and muscles in your lower arms. That raw, natural development communicates a story of practical utility and quiet strength that women find deeply attractive after 60. The fifth major signal on our list is your smile, which acts as the ultimate indicator of your emotional stability, inner calm, and approachable warmth. Long before you even introduce yourself, your facial expression sets the tone for the entire interaction. A man who carries a stiff, permanent grin or tries to fake a smile often comes across as nervous, insecure, or insincere, making people feel subtly on guard around him. On the flip side, a man who rarely smiles at all can unintentionally project coldness, harshness, or emotional distance, even if he feels perfectly relaxed on the inside. The secret that women in our survey kept coming back to is the power of a calm, natural smile. A genuine smile instantly lowers a woman's defenses because it signals that you are comfortable in your own skin and entirely present in the moment. Psychologists often refer to this as a authentic expression, where the warmth doesn't just stop at your lips, it reaches your cheeks and creates subtle, crinkling lines around your eyes. That natural warmth tells a woman that you possess real social confidence, emotional maturity, and a genuine ease with the world around you. As you move past 60, this kind of relaxed approachability becomes vastly more attractive than any superficial physical feature because it proves you are a safe, grounded, and enjoyable person to be around. Hand in hand with your smile are your eyes, which serve as the direct window to your mental state and focus. Women consistently highlighted steady, relaxed eye contact as one of the most hypnotic and commanding signs of confidence a man can display. Your eyes communicate how you handle pressure and how present you are in a conversation. When a man's eyes are constantly darting around the room, shifting away nervously or checking his phone while someone is speaking, it sends an immediate signal of anxiety, distraction, or self-consciousness. On the other extreme, locking eyes with someone in a rigid, unblinking stare feels predatory and uncomfortable. The sweet spot that women find overwhelmingly magnetic is balanced, curious focus. When you look at a woman calmly while she speaks, holding her gaze with relaxed attention and listening intent, it communicates profound respect and self-assurance. It shows that you aren't intimidated, scattered, or lost in your own thoughts. Steady eyes prove that your mind is sharp, alert, and engaged with the present moment. It tells her that you still possess a genuine curiosity about life and the people around you. A quality that women after 60 find exceptionally captivating, as it reveals a man who is still fully alive, observant, and connected to the world. When we brought our survey to a close, one single factor emerged as the absolute number one visual signal women pay attention to above all else: the way a man moves through space. Long before anyone evaluates individual physical features, your physical movement tells a complete story about your inner state. Your body language and motion acts as a direct broadcast of your thoughts, your confidence, and your emotional stability. The way you navigate a crowded room, cross a street, or enter a building reveals how you feel about yourself at a subconscious level, and women pick up on those subtle kinetic cues almost instantly. Movement that feels rushed, hesitant, or clunky transmits an immediate signal of internal stress, physical awkwardness, and uncertainty. When a man shuffles his feet, constantly fidgets, or moves with hyperactive, hurried energy, it subtly communicates to everyone around him that he feels uncomfortable in his own skin or anxious about his environment. In stark contrast, walking with deliberate, smooth, and controlled strides sends an overwhelming message of grounded authority. Controlled movement doesn't require athletic speed or aggressive bravado. It simply means moving at your own steady pace, maintaining open shoulders, taking unhurried steps, and carrying a natural rhythm that proves you own the space around you. This sense of calm, purposeful movement extends to every minor action you take throughout the day. Whether you are pulling out a chair to sit down at a dinner table, opening a heavy door, reaching for a coffee mug, or simply turning around to face someone. Moving with patience demonstrates profound self-assurance. It proves to a woman that you aren't flustered, desperate for attention, or trying to perform to impress anyone else. You simply move through the world with quiet intention, emotional stability, and self-respect. After the age of 60, this grounded presence becomes one of the most reassuring and deeply magnetic traits a man can possess, because it shows that no matter what is happening around you, you remain entirely composed and in control of yourself.